From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
Good evening. I'm Andrea Nakano. Brian Hackney has the night off. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with breaking news in Idaho. At least 2 people are dead in what is still an active shooter situation. Firefighters responding to a brush fire in the northwestern part of the state, only to be reportedly ambushed by at least 1 gunman. Law enforcement is currently taking fire and attempting to evacuate other civilians off the mountain. And here's the sheriff of Kootenai County just moments ago.
So at approximately 1:21 p.m. this afternoon, we received reports of a fire on the east side of Canfield Mountain. Fire assets responded to the scene, and at approximately 2 p.m. this afternoon, it was reported that firefighters were receiving shots fired at them. We now have 2 deaths. We have an unknown amount of casualties. We still have civilians that are coming off of that mountain. We might have civilians that are stuck or in shock on that mountain. So this is a very, very fresh situation.
You can hear the heaviness in his voice there, and this is a developing story. We will bring you the latest as the updates come into the newsroom. Now, we're going to turn our attention to weather, and we've had fog in the Bay Area, but also there is this fire danger in the mountains, Darren.
And of course, the concern as we take a look ahead towards our forecast, we're not really under much of a fire weather concern here for the next several days, thankfully. But I think a lot of people are wondering about 4th of July, which is coming up on Friday. Look at the marine layer out here. Boy, it's pretty widespread. It's large and definitely a factor today. And for the 4th of July, right now the forecast is we got about a 50-50 shot. How much of an impact will the clouds play here at home when we get to the 4th of July and our fireworks? We'll have much more on that. We get much better with specifics on that within a 24 to 36 hour time frame in terms of gauging the marine layer. Let me just show you what it's going to feel like tomorrow before we get back to the rest of the newscast. I'll show you the daytime highs. And those numbers are pretty much going to be similar to what we did today. So maybe even a few degrees cooler than the day you just had. This is your Monday. Be back in a few minutes and I'll walk you through the rest of the week. For now, let's get back over to Andrea.
Well, in San Francisco today, it was the city's 55th annual Pride Parade celebrating the best of the Bay Area's LGBTQ community, with this year's theme being Queer Joy is Resistance. Max Darrow has more from this morning's parade and why this year organizers feel it's more important than ever to be seen.
Vibrance, joy, and a sense of authenticity, seen and felt along Market Street in San Francisco on Sunday.
Thank you so much!
The parade, the exclamation point on year 55 of San Francisco's Pride celebration. A special experience for first-timers.
It's amazing, and it's amazing to see how people embrace themselves and who they love.
It's so fantastic to get to see all the joy.
And it remains one for those who've come year after year.
35 years. Wow.
It's estimated the SF Pride celebration draws more than 1 million people from all over the world.
We're here all the way from Indiana, loving every bit of it.
Evan Moore came from Sacramento for his first Pride.
It's very emotionally moving to see all the people that care about each other.
Each year, Pride has a theme that serves as a unifying message and reflection of the social and political climate of the time. This year's theme, Queer Joy is Resistance, a message that resonated with many along the parade route on Sunday.
This year is really important for people, the community, to be out and say, you know, we're all in this together, and we've got to get out there and be strong.
Hey, happy Pride, and keep fighting for your rights and speaking up, because it's really important to represent our community.
Tie it all together. The theme, the colorful displays of collective strength, and the joy.
We love every second of it. It's great. Community full of love. Can't get better than that.
Celebrating, honoring, and lifting up the LGBTQ plus community with every step down Market Street.
We turn now to the San Francisco Zoo and some turmoil at the top. San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie joins a growing number of voices calling to oust embattled SF Zoo CEO Tanya Peterson saying new leadership is needed to stabilize the beloved zoo. But Peterson is pushing back, saying she's not going anywhere. Dahlin has more on what could be a coup at the top of the zoo.
For many young families, the San Francisco Zoo is a place where kids can learn about animals, explore nature, and burn off energy. That's partly why the Bernier family makes a monthly trip from San Bruno.
At least once a month, maybe twice a month. We love the zoo. We've got a guest pass. We have the kiddos, 1.5 to 3.5.
Dad Drew Bernier says their positive experience keeps them coming back.
I've never felt not safe at the zoo.
But critics argue the zoo is unsafe, not just for visitors, but also for workers and the animals. They point to longtime CEO Tanya Peterson as the problem. The union, representing many workers, recently voted no confidence in her leadership. On Friday, Mayor Daniel Lurie released a statement saying in part, "I am confident that stable, permanent leadership will strengthen the zoo and our city's ability to welcome pandas." But zoo spokesperson Sam Singer says Peterson has no plans to step down.
She has always said that she would resign if it was in the best interest of the zoo, but no one has asked her to resign, nor has she offered her resignation. She's plowing full speed ahead to try to bring the giant pandas to San Francisco.
At Sunday's Pride celebration, the mayor declined to answer specific questions about efforts to remove Peterson.
We're going to talk to the zoo board in the coming days. More to come on that one.
Would it be better for her to leave with the zoo?
We'll talk over the next couple of days.
Only the zoo board has the authority to fire Peterson. Some board members recently tried but failed.
She's got the skin of an elephant. This doesn't bother her at all. It's like water off her back. She's going to keep doing what's right for the kids and families in San Francisco.
Like most visitors, the Bernier family was unaware of the political turmoil. They just want what's best for the zoo.
We come here for the zoo, and you wouldn't know that there was anything outside that's that's creating tension, because the zoo is always the same and always fun.
Here's some other headlines we're following around the Bay Area tonight. Apple is doubling down on its real estate presence in the South Bay. Public filings reveal Apple spent over $500 million just this week on office properties in Silicon Valley. A 2-building campus in Sunnyvale and 3 buildings in Cupertino were converted from leases to outright ownership. New data shows BART is winning on the weekends. Ridership on the average Saturday in 2025 increased 14% year over year. On Sundays, ridership rose about 8%. BART officials said an increased police presence as well as train and station cleanliness are behind the surge. And you could soon be paying more at the pump. Starting Tuesday, California's excise tax will be increased by about 2 cents, and stricter rules on the state's low-carbon fuel standard go into effect. Oakland International Airport could be getting a new name. If the Port of Oakland's plan goes through, the airport will be called the Oakland San Francisco Bay Airport. The port announced they would be giving the airport this new moniker as a way to appeal to travelers who may not know about Oakland's proximity to other major cities in the region. Well, still ahead, a standoff in Sonoma County. Why a budget airline carrier is facing a boycott and some backlash this weekend. Details on the other side of this break. In Santa Rosa today, a protest at the airport over budget carrier Avelo Airlines and its federal contract to operate deportation flights for the Trump administration. John Ramos has more on the impact the protests are having in keeping both people and planes grounded.
Weekend protests have become a regular activity, especially here in Sonoma County. And one thing you can say about Donald Trump, he may not be making a lot of friends in the Bay Area, but he certainly is creating a lot of activists.
Standing out here in a public place and in the sun on my free time when there's more fun things to do than this, but you know, you got to stand up. Got to say what you stand for.
Tamara Mucka has attended hundreds of protests, but this is only her second time on Airport Boulevard in Santa Rosa. A local activist group has been holding a sidewalk vigil every Sunday for more than 2 months. It's because Charles Schulz Airport is one of the hubs of Avelo Airlines, a small air carrier that has accepted a lot of money from the Department of Homeland Security to transport undocumented immigrants out of the country.
And this company that has taken a $150 million contract to participate in that. I think business owners and retirees like myself, and even people coming by and honking the horns, you know, we all have a part to play.
The company's CEO acknowledged the deal, saying, quote, "We realize this is a sensitive and complicated topic. After significant deliberations, we determined this charter flying will provide us with the stability to continue expanding our core scheduled passenger service and keep our more than 1,100 crew members employed for years to come," end quote. But it's not doing much to expand business in Sonoma County. The airport released numbers that show Avelo has seen a 32% drop in ridership, while Alaska and American have increased their passenger load. No one can say for sure if the protests are having an effect on that.
Well, they're only flying a couple of connecting flights out of here anymore. So what they say is that this is unrelated, but, you know, it's awful coincidental.
Either way, the airport demonstrations are giving people a chance to express their concerns about the direction of the country. A man named Steve from Petaluma says protests and boycotts may be the only power the people have in the fight.
I've been to probably in the last 6 or 8 weeks, 30-odd protests. We've noted that there's been first-timers at a lot of these actions. It's a watershed period of history, and we're watching our democracy slip away with the rule of law and what's coming out of the White House.
It's either sit at home, be depressed and scared, or go out and do something and change the world.
Does it take 1 million people at a rally to do that, or can just a handful of people on a street corner do the same thing?
I think a handful. Yeah.
Why?
Because we're all connected. Each little handful is another drop in the bucket.
Does it feel good to be a drop?
Yeah, it does.
But at the airport, a man named Jimmy from Willits, who supports the president, said he doesn't even understand why people are protesting at all.
Why are they protesting it? People are in the country illegally. They're getting deported. That's how it should be. Come legally. And they shouldn't be here illegally. Deport them. So, they should buy the tickets anyway. Support that airline.
Currently, Avelo operates few passenger flights out of the airport, but now that they're focusing on the charter flight business, they can probably expect a welcoming committee out on the street for some time to come.
All right, bringing our attention back to the forecast. We're watching the marine layer build in. A beautiful representation on the virtual map right now shows you it's plenty gray out here, but the clouds are just kind of barely sneaking in through the Golden Gate. Look at the time lapse up here. So that's over the course of the last couple of hours. That gray blanket is going to slink over the shoulder of Mount Sutro and certainly cover the entire city tonight, but it won't really get all that far inland. Come take a look at the extent on this. Let's get the high view and look down on the virtual map. Because what we are seeing the marine layer build in at night, it's just not overwhelmingly taking over the rest of the bay. That's probably where it'll be tomorrow at 7 a.m. at its maximum extent. And here's where it will be. Let's take it from that point and play it forward over the next 2 days, because you'll get plenty of sunshine on Monday afternoon. But on Tuesday morning, it will build in a little more. So expect things to get a little bit grayer as we get into the early and mid part of this week. The marine layer is going to get a little assist. Weak area of low pressure is going to be traveling overhead, and that will allow the marine layer to deepen and build farther inland. But even at that, even if it does get farther inland on Tuesday morning, it's still going to melt back to the beach by the afternoon. You'll still have plenty of sunshine. Let's look at daytime highs underneath all of this. We'll start out by taking a look at tomorrow, which is a good example, because where we end up tomorrow, these numbers are pretty much going to be where we sit for most of this week. So go ahead and pick out your part of the bay on there. You'll be in the mid and upper 80s for many of our warmer inland spots. Sure, I'll get out of the way. Let's see if we can get some of those numbers up close and personal. Let's get up to the North Bay. Santa Rosa, topping out at 78 tomorrow. So will Petaluma. Concord, 88. 90 in the Tri-Valley, and then as we skip our way down into the Santa Clara Valley, you see temperatures there will also be in the mid to upper 80s. So that is going to be the start of a pattern. Here's what Here's why I would say that. If we look at the 7-day forecast, you're going to see the numbers pretty much leveling out there. The one day that stands out in the whole 7-day forecast is the one right here, 4th of July. Look at the number. I'll get out of the way. Look at all of them. Friday is clearly cooler than all the rest. So as we get into the holiday on the 4th of July, that weak little area of low pressure that's going to build in the marine layer a little more tomorrow is going to get replaced by another one on Friday, which might do a better job of it. So we'll certainly get a little cooler on Friday, and I think we will see a little more of the marine layer as well. It's a big question mark in terms of how much we'll have for the fireworks on Friday night. And right now, the best forecast really you can get on that is 50-50 chance that we either see fireworks clearing away or we see colorful clouds. You know the drill on the 4th of July. So stay on top of that with us. We can get much better with specifics on the marine layer within 24 to 36 hours. That means Wednesday into Thursday. Check in with us on that. All right, Andrea, back over to you.
Yeah, nothing better than pink and green clouds. Thank you, Darren. Well, after the break, you know the Valkyries, but do you know the Valkyries? It's a perfect weekend to meet the Golden State fans bringing pride to Valhalla. Stay with us. The Valkyries are back at Chase Center tonight and on pace to post some historic attendance numbers. Golden State is averaging more than 18,000 fans per game, an all-time WNBA record if it holds. This weekend, we introduce you to some members of that expanding fan base showing their pride in more ways than one. Here's Kelsey Thorin.
For many LGBTQ people, specifically queer women, going to a Valkyries game is an experience unlike much else.
You know, it's the representation to see ourselves being able to come out and be a part of the community with just ease and joy.
Queer women have long made up a significant portion of the WNBA fan base. Recent studies show upwards of a quarter of all WNBA fans identify as lesbians.
It's not surprising at all. We just got this brilliant moment to all meet up somewhere where we all belong and we can all fit, and come together and celebrate.
Audacious Wilson and Valerie Trout are two Valkyries super fans doing what they can to connect the LGBTQ fan base.
Kind of a meetup so that people can come out, enjoy the games, the away games especially.
And they're not alone. Since the Valkyries season started, several LGBTQ fan groups have popped up, including the Valkyries, headed up by Megan Doherty Baker.
It just feels like this could be kind of big in terms of how many numbers we've got and the diversity that the group can have and what it can look like and all the different ways that we can engage and connect with each other. It kind of feels like sky's the limit right now.
The Valkyries have already hosted several events and are planning more and more every week. As someone who's been a basketball fan for decades, Lucy Bledsoe told me it's wonderful to see both the connections fans are making with each other and the support the WNBA is giving to their LGBTQ fan base.
It's amazing. I remember the early women's professional leagues where they tried really hard to say, hey, we're straight, we're straight. I literally saw, I think it's the Pioneers did a game where at halftime they did a heterosexual marriage. They were so afraid of the queer audience, and now they're just opening their hearts and doors.
Every WNBA team is hosting a Pride Night this season, including the Valkyries. It's something fans love to see and hope will help to create lasting connections long after the season ends.
It's unreal, it's unbelievable that this arena, this platform is giving us this space to build so much more community.
Well, coming up, the South Bay gets serious about illegal fireworks. Details on how San Jose is cracking down ahead of the holiday weekend. Stay with us. And we close tonight in the South Bay, where a crackdown on illegal fireworks is taking place in San Jose just in time for next week's July 4th weekend. Just last Friday, San Jose police seized more than 3,000 pounds of illegal fireworks at several residences and a storage locker. Len Ramirez has more on the city's renewed efforts.
From rockets lighting up the sky to deafening explosions shaking the ground, this is what the 4th of July looks and sounds like in parts of San Jose. and not an official fireworks show, but right in neighborhood streets.
People joke about saying it's Baghdad by the Bay. It's awful, you know, it's dangerous, it's illegal.
Jeff Levine has lived in San Jose for over 2 decades and says the illegal fireworks problem has gotten worse.
Cars tossing fire, anything from the little firecrackers to the big explosive M1000s out in the street, and they zoom off and then they blow up and cars are coming in and swerving to avoid the explosions.
But this year, the city is launching a more coordinated ground and aerial effort. For the first time this 4th of July, San Jose police will launch drones to capture footage of illegal fireworks use, joining several other cities like Elk Grove, which shot this footage. The built-in GPS will allow the city to locate hotspots and go after associated property owners.
The information being gathered by the drones will be real time, and so it'll be relayed to the operator. I mean, that is a good message that we want to let people know is, you know, again, have fun on 4th of July, be safe, but also we're watching. You know, fireworks are illegal in the city of San Jose and has always been.
And the city's largest neighborhood group is supporting and participating in the stepped-up enforcement.
We, as a neighborhood organization across the city, along with the city, want more people involved in reporting where fireworks are launched.
Steve Spivak is part of San Jose's all-district leadership group, which is working to encourage neighbors to report illegal fireworks using the 311 app, which now has a dedicated tab just for that purpose. And this year, code enforcement officers will be issuing citations directly to homes connected to illegal fireworks use. Spivak says the Los Angeles fires prompted San Jose to strengthen enforcement actions.
Fences, walls, landscaping, you name it, are all vulnerable to fire that can be started by embers created by the rocket launches.
And you have the potential for some awful results because people are using these illegal fireworks.
Levine is bracing for another 4th of July, but as the holiday approaches, he hopes that with stronger community involvement and a few more eyes on the skies, this holiday will be a little quieter and a lot safer. But if it's not, San Jose is also planning to use its social host ordinance, plus fines and even possible citations for spectators.
And mark your calendars, the Port of Oakland is bringing back their popular Waterfront Flicks event at Jack London Square. The family-friendly event will be held on Saturday nights around 8:30, weather permitting. Attendees are encouraged to bring their own lawn chairs, blankets, and snacks. And the first Flicks event will be on July 12th. And that does it for us at 5. We will see you back here at 6 for another hour of news.